Almost made it to haiku stairs. We just had breakfast at Lulu's, which is like right next to our hotel. It was on Waikiki. It's kind of like a sports bar. It was pretty good. And now we're heading to haiku stairs, but the legal way. So we're going STAiRWAY to heaven, but my parents aren't doing it because they're sore and tired, and it would take way too long because it's a pretty brutal hike apparently. So we'll see if we survive. Okay, so we just got to the trail and we went through the Moanalua Valley neighborhood, and this is where you come up. This is like a little bathroom playground, and then the trail's straight up there. If you have a rental car and no one else to drive you, like our parents are dropping us off, there's a parking lot that you can park in for free, so that's nice. It closes at 7 p.m. so do the hike early. Don't be out here when it gets dark. I guess this is how we know we're going the right way. You have to cross that gate and keep on going. I would suggest that you get the All Trails app because that's what I'm using to make sure that we're going on the right trail and going the right way. Okay, so right now it totally looks like we're in the jungle. I mean, oh, but there's a car. Okay, so we just went through all of that mud. That was disgusting. But honestly, that's the first mud that we've encountered. And when I was reading reviews on the trail app, it said, oh, it's super muddy, like for every review. So we've come on a pretty dry day. It rained yesterday, but honestly, most of it's cleared up by now and dried up. So I hope that's the only mud that we have to go through because that was gross. And my shoes are white, so bad planning on my part. So this is where the Moanalua Valley Trail ends, I guess, and the trail app didn't really tell us where to go, so we're just gonna try to go through the woods this way because it's the only kind of-ish obvious path that we see. And the last concrete slab is pretty far back, so we don't want to have to go all the way back there. Okay, awesome, there's a trail. Who knew? After you make it all the way through the trail, you should see, or halfway through the trail, you should see these signs. And actually, I don't know if we go this way or this way.
Water.
You lost it?
I dropped it.
Oh.
Here. I have another one, but
I don't even know what to say. We fell off the path somehow, didn't know where we were going, went through a river. I have to tie my shoe. Couldn't even find it after that, had to climb up a giant mountain because the app's
covered in foliage.
Covered, yeah. It was up to our heads, like it was in our face. We had to brush it. Oh my gosh, insanity. Only in Hawaii. The app kept saying the trail is right next to you. As soon as we made it up to the top of the mountain, we were so ready to call for help, call someone to helicopter in and pick us up. I don't know how they would do that, but
with a rope ladder.
Yeah, but we found the free trail. Oh my gosh. It's only been 2 hours and it's been a day. All right, so now it's raining up here, and we just ran into people who said that it's still 2 hours or an hour and a half away. Almost made it to haiku stairs. Okay, here's the rundown. One thing I'm gonna tell you, get a guide, get a guide, get a guide. I will say it over and over. Get a guide, get one. Because we didn't. I was like, oh, I was hyping myself up. I thought, oh, I'm so good at finding hikes, doing hikes. We've been doing it the whole vacation. No. This one's different. This is not like any of the other hikes, okay? We leave my mom and dad in the car. Oh, easy 2 miles, flat road, nothing hard, nothing challenging. There's a patch of mud, we went around it, all good. It's dry, it's not raining. We get to this point where you can either, there's this concrete slab with nothing else there, and then there's a tiny trail. That's a tiny trail you take it to the left, and then you get to this point where you see the river in front of, the riverbed in front of you, or you can go right, okay, go right. And then you follow that to this other place. There's a sign there. If there's a sign anywhere, ever, when you're hiking, go towards the sign. Don't go past the sign, go towards it. I don't know why I didn't do it myself, but that's the rule, that's a general rule. You go to the sign over the riverbed. Do not go through the overgrown grass like my mind told me to do for some reason. Don't go to the grass, go to the river. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. If you're gonna do this, go through the riverbed. There's no water that's gonna be there. So you go over the river, the path is literally right there, and we missed it. Literally right there. And then you go up for a while, so getting from the bottom to where that sign is, up to like halfway up the mountain, took us 40 minutes. What did we do? We went through the overgrown grass, down the riverbed, like a mile down the riverbed, and this took, I don't know, 30 minutes. And then we go, we look on the app, the All Trails app, which you should totally get, even though it didn't really help us that much, but we eventually found it, so I guess it did help. So it said, oh, it's just to your left. The trail's right there. We could see that the trail was right near us, but we couldn't see it in person. So we're like, oh, well, if it's over there, then let's just hike up the mountain and it'll be right there. No. We had to go through the riverbed. We go up one mountain. We had to go through all of these like roots and trees and stuff and vines, and I got cut on my arm a couple times because a bunch of them had thorns. That was like not that hard, but it was harder than the trail. That took another, I don't know, 20 minutes. And then we go up the second mountain. Not we go two mountains, not one, two. But anyway, we make it, we go up the second one. Mind you, this one is 10 times harder because there are ferns up to your face. I'm not even joking. The incline on that mountain was 10 times steeper than the other mountain that we were going through the like trees on. So we went up that mountain barely, and we got to a point where there was no more trees, roots to hang on to. So what were we gonna do? My brother had to push me up to grab this tree that was super far away, and then I had to put myself on the tree and pull him up. Mind you, he's 22, like he's not small. That was hard. We still have to go up more ferns to get to another tree, another big tree, and I genuinely thought, oh, the path is gonna be right there, like we're so, the path is not. So we had to keep going. 3 trees later, my brother's like,
okay, if it is not there, we're gonna have to call a helicopter to get us out of here, because we can't go back down the mountain or else we would die, and we can't go anywhere because we're on a mountain in the middle of nowhere. So
we went up to a tree, and we get to the top of the mountain, look around, thank Jesus that it was there. The trail was there. I genuinely thought I was gonna have to call my mother because we had 1 bar LTE, I think, at the top of this mountain for some reason. I thought I was gonna have to call my mom, tell her we were stranded, and it was my idea to go on this hike. So she would have killed me, and then we would have had to pay for this helicopter to come get us out. They would have had to throw a rope ladder down because there's nowhere to land, and we would have had to climb up like,
oh my gosh, I couldn't.
And then we go up a little ways, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes up, and then we run into these Australian guys, and they're like,
oh, you're still 1.5 hours to 2 hours to the top.
What? Mind you, it's starting to rain. So it's pouring, it's all muddy everywhere. Our shoes are wrecked. I have pools of water in my shoes at this point. White shoes, no longer white, they're brown. Gonna have to throw those away. My socks, gone, they fell off. Awesome. We go up a little ways, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes after we talked to the Australian guy. And we're like, this is not worth it. It's rainy, we wouldn't have even seen anything up there, you know? So we had to come back down. It took us 40 minutes to get to that point. We slipped a couple times going down because it was so muddy now because of the rain. And then we went down and it took us, I don't know, 40 more minutes to go through the 2 miles of flat. And then we finally made it back to the bathrooms. What just happened? I seriously don't even know what to say about that hike. One of the things that I will say is go with a guide, because we didn't and we paid the price for it. Overall, I'd say it was kind of worth it because it's an experience. I don't regret the whole thing, but one thing I do regret is that we didn't go the right way. We got up there, this Australian guy was like, oh yeah, you're still really far. You're like an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So we were like, oh my gosh, it's far. And then these other people that were there were talking about that they made it all the way up and that they couldn't even see anything and it was all wet. So I'm glad that we turned around and didn't keep going because we wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway, and we looked all disgusting, so pictures wouldn't have even shown anything. If you're gonna do haiku stairs, Stairway to Heaven hike, get a guide, because on the All Trails app I saw a bunch of locals here that do it all the time. Alright, so this one guy, Michael Karras, you probably can't see that, he claims he's hiked this trail over 170 times and that he does it 3 times a week, taking people up there. So a lot of people that are on that app have also said that they've used him and he was awesome. He provides spikes for you so that if it's muddy you can have some traction. So the app said that this was a hard hike. It's extremely hard. You have to be an avid hiker to think this is nothing. It was crazy. Would I do it again? Definitely not this week. I have no idea what the second half of the hike looks like. That's why I would need a guide, definitely. But the second half of the hike is apparently supposed to be twice as hard as the first half, which is insane. But it would have only been like an hour and a half to get to that point if we had done it the right way. So it'll take you about 6 hours, definitely, at least, to do the whole hike. If you go the illegal way, then you get to have a great time going up those stairs for, I don't know, 2 hours, an hour and a half, like easy peasy, and they're just stairs, so you just get to go up and then you get to go back down. But if you do that, it's a $1,500 fine if you get caught by the cops. If they're handing out tickets that day, then if you're not from here, then you have to come back to get sentenced to see if you're not gonna get community service or not. So you would have to fly all the way back out here, and if you get community service, you're gonna have to stay out here for the community service. So that would be a lot of money. If you go the legal way, you 100% have to go at 7 a.m. because the park closes at 7 p.m. and if they find you there after 7 p.m. they'll fine you the $1,500. So definitely be in and out of there before 7 p.m. We went at 12 thinking, oh, it's fine. We got back at, I don't know, 5:30 and we didn't even go the whole way. We went halfway, but that was because of our detour. Still recommend it though. If you want to do it with a guide, definitely do it, because on a clear day the views would totally be worth it, and that's the reason I wanted to go in the first place. So definitely check it out if you're willing to get all muddy and disgusting and wet from the rain and have your body hurt for like 4 days after probably. I'm already in pain. It's gonna be really fun.